Hello again. My name is Jerry Fox, and I'm the president and CEO of Bish Creative Display. Today, I am honored with the presence of the founders' daughter-in-law and grandson, Robbe and Randy Beuscher. They were an integral part of the launch of my career as I got to work for the Beuscher family my very first year at Bish Creative. And I'm so excited, honored, and pleased to be able to keep the family name, because at this stage, after 35 years of me being a part of this company, I find myself a part of the Bish family forever, and I hope you're okay with that. Robbe, good morning. Please tell us, if you could, how this all began.
Hello, Jerry. I'm glad to help you out with the background of the Bish Creative Display. I want to tell you a little bit about my father-in-law, Lorenz Beuscher. He was born in Warrenton, Missouri, on a farm. He always liked art, and he went to the St. Louis School of Art. But after 2 years at the school, his father died from typhoid, and he had to go to work. And he worked for a display company in St. Louis, who then transferred him to Chicago. And he came to Chicago and married a gal by the name of Josephine Bliss, and they had a son, Larry. And when Larry was out of college, his father thought he could work with Segrist, he thought he was a partner, but he was not a partner, it turned out. So he left Segrist. He took with him the West Box and the Hamm's Beer, opened an office on Lincoln Avenue just south of Peterson. At that point, they could expand a little bit. When they were in Chicago, they had one artist, and then they always had a group of other artists that would help them out. So they didn't have to have a large staff. But remember, in those days, they didn't have computers. It was all done by hand. Randy remembers having an archive. Instead of being able to go on the computer or going on to find something they wanted to see, Dad Beuscher had taken all these different clippings from years and years and years and had them all alphabetized.
Thank you, Robbe, for sharing that. That was very interesting. I actually remember the vault. It was this back room of the 1776 Ash where he had file cabinets filled from front to back, top to bottom, left to right, with unbelievable advertising clippings and references. It was purely entertainment for anybody that'd go back there, so I can see how your kids really enjoyed that. Randy, tell us a little bit about your grandfather and your father.
Well, thanks, Jerry. I think, there's a lot of things we could talk about Bish, and I think I want to first say that I appreciate the fact that you've maintained the name. It means a lot to us and the family. My grandfather also studied at the Art Institute of Chicago in night school when he came to Chicago. And so he had this incredible hand. If you've ever seen his portraits that he did later in life, it's actually more amazing to see the ones he did in the 20s. You will remember, Jerry, when you first got there, that Grandpa had the back office and he had a cabaret there, so he could do watercolors right at the station. And so he could move from his executive desk, so to speak, to his art desk.
Randy, thank you so much for sharing those incredible memories. Robbe, share with us what it was like to have artists in your lifestyle, especially Larry, because I know his photography and his love of art was incredible. Describe what home life was for the Beuscher's back in those times.
Not only was Dad Beuscher creative, but Larry was even more so, I felt, because he was multi-creative. He did photography, he did silk screening, he did a lot of glass work, he did anything he wanted to do, he could do it. I've enjoyed it all these years, and it was just, there's always something new happening, something good happening.
Robbe, one of my most treasured memories and treasured pieces of art, I'll call it, and I still have that in our building today in Lake Zurich, is I have the original sign from the 1776 Ash Street building sign. And their symbol or their icon at the time was a point of a pencil. So share with me the thought process behind that, because being in advertising, it's creative. I was curious if there's a story behind the pencil point.
I'm so glad you kept the sign, Jerry. It was Dad Beuscher's idea, and he thought that a pencil indicated that things were happening they were creating with a pencil. Jerry, just want to thank you for inviting us. And I want to thank Randy for joining me because he speaks more eloquently than I do at this point of my life. But I just hope that I know you will keep Bish's name forever. And I hope someday that your children will follow on with it like Larry did with his father. And thank you very much for including us.
Thank you, Robbie.